last week. Also a big ask of him on that half-back line.
And there's the Essendon team out there. 5 of them played in the state game during the week on Tuesday night in Adelaide. It'll be interesting to see how much sting it took out of their legs, whereas Fitzroy just have the Victorian captain Paul Roos doubling up after that game. We'll be joined in commentary. We have Brett Allen is the umpire who gets us underway. He throws the ball into the air because it's pretty muddy in the centre circle. Dundas overruns the ball. Socket off the ground by O'Donnell. Long making a welcome return. Goes back to Anderson. Dodges one, can't dodge the second. The tackle was high, the free was going to be given. Michael Long to the goal square. Salmon might have interfered. Lynch gets back there. Alistair Lynch back home, ex-Tasmanian. Up to wind, and Fitzroy clear down the outer side. Long kick to centre wing, but too wide, and out of bounds on the full.
Interesting move by Kevin Sheedy too, Drew. He's got Chris Danaher picking up Paul Roos. Anthony Danaher at the moment is loose on the half-back line for Essendon.
Gavin Wanganeen, exciting young talent, chips the kick out to Kilpatrick. He's been a good player for Essendon this year. Only a youngster. Kicks the ball wide. Werner couldn't take it off the ground. Went Buick out of the air. A fortuitous kick finds Salmon, who led Lynch to the ball. A good start by Salmon to this game.
There's a Lynch there, just got caught, Jerry. He went to push off to get away and keep up with Salmon. Just lost his footing last minute, giving Salmon that break. Just quickly interchange for both sides. Essendon, Grenvold and Spawn, and for Fitzroy, Fleming and Armstrong.
Well, Salmon kicked 5 goals for the state Tuesday night. 36 for the year to date. Can he get Essendon off to a flying start? From 20 metres, slight angle. He's got it home. So a good start to Paul Salmon and to Essendon. Vital when you come to a foreign land to get away to an early start.
Yes, and also with this shorter ground too, to get that ball up quickly into the forward line so Salmon can be one out with Lynch is the ideal preparation. And I'm sure that's what Kevin Sheedy would ask his players, and also ask his half-forward line to move up the ground.
Back in the centre, the Bombers with the first goal of the match on the board. Somerville wins at the second attempt eventually. Good tackle by Chris Danaher. The ball held in there. And Armstrong comes up with it. And the umpire will throw the ball up in the centre. Thompson inside the 50. Plain. Roderick underneath it. And the umpire will ball it up.
Well done by Broderick too. Just stood his ground, had the pack coming toward him. Just kept his eye on the footy. Held the ball there.
Fitzroy with a spare man in defence down in front of Salmon, but big crowd around this ball up. Kick by Osmond, doesn't cover much ground. Across the half-back line it goes. Stevens, and the ball goes out of play, and we'll have a throw-in.
Yes, that spare man in C-Camp, Drew, and with him spare in the defence for Fitzroy, Gavin Wanganeen at the moment is spare for Essendon.
Tactics will play a big part in this game. Driven kick into the forward line. There's that man C-Camp, who assists Alistair Lynch, and the ball taken over the boundary line.
On purpose. Deliberate.
Well, Brett Allen has declared that that was deliberate. Was it a little bit tough, Ross?
I thought so. Defenders have to clear the ball out of the attacking area. What else can you do?
Well, from a very tight angle, Paul Salmon has the opportunity to kick his second goal with less than 5 minutes of the game played. He's looking around for someone at the front of the pack. He's not too certain about this one. Now he decides to have a shot. It looks good off the boot. An excellent shot at goal from a tight angle.
Stevens takes the mark inside the 50. Goes long for goal. A great kick by Stevens. It's there.
Through burst Wallace and gets it out to the left-footed Anderson. He drops what he should have taken, but butters up nicely. Intelligent kick. Looks for the skipper in Thompson in the centre. Conditions very heavy here all over the ground. Buick in space now. Gets retarded, but no free kick. Taps it on well. Fitzroy boys dive on the ball. Blakey's there, as well as Lynch, and they block it up. That was C-Camp, in fact.
Anthony Danaher now picking up Caven, who's starting at full forward.
Well, Salmon with the big height advantage gets the ball out to kick it, who appears to be being tagged by guard. And away go Fitzroy.
That was Stevens, who was their goal kicker, quickly getting back into defence. The ball out of play up at centre wing. So a lot of moves going on in this game, with both teams with spare men in defence. And I suppose Fitzroy coach Robert Shaw, who came up at Essendon, played his footy there, coached the seconds under Kevin Sheedy, might know all the moves that Sheedy's about to throw. Kilpatrick, and on the chest of Stevens, who's been dominant early. Dundas. The kick up short of half forward. Osborne wrestling for position. It's punched down. O'Donnell's hand pass back. Harvey. Up into the muddy centre. Well played by Baldwin. You see him try to change direction. A bit difficult in there. Dundas to Wine. Wine's kick straight to the opposition captain. Thompson takes the mark.
Yes, he's picking up Ross Lyon. Mark Harvey picking up Osborne.
Straight down the ground. Over the back came Wallace. Couldn't take it. Tapped out now to Blakey. Blakey's been a good player for Fitzroy this year. It's taken in the back. That must be a free kick.
Yes, an obvious one there.
Well, was an errant knee, Ross.
Well, that's the sort of thing that's crept into the game the last 18 months, and players taking advantage of bloke who's on the ground. No courage in that at all. In fact, very dangerous. Players end up with back injuries.
Blakey drives Fitzroy forward. Already the ball appearing to be a little bit heavy. Didn't make a great deal of distance with that kick. A free kick's been plucked out of this one, going to Darren Buick. It'll be important for players to get a run up at this ball coming through the mud. They attempt to kick. Well, off one step, he finds O'Donnell in the middle. Onto the left foot he goes. Natural foot. Finds Werner, who's a loose man on the wing. Another left foot. Going to Michael Long. Another left foot. Long looks for play, and he goes over the top now. A good play there by Lynch leads Paul Salmon to the ball.
Terrific mark by Lynch. Support from Michael Gale. He's another player who's back home, but his kick is ordinary, straight onto the chest of Kickett. He wants to go on with a Derek Kickett. Approaches the 50. Salmon gets down to the pocket. Can't take the mark. Players crash to the ground.
What's interesting there, Drew, is Kickett played on. He actually disposed of his opponent there by pulling him down to the ground by his jump, and that's in fact a free kick. Now allowed to go on. Lynch in trouble with ribs.
Salmon snaps for goal. Off the ground, plain. Hits the post. Clever kick.
He's not well, Alistair Lynch there. He's got the trainers coming out. Is it ribs or a shoulder? It looks like his ribs there. He's got his hand across his top of his heart.
Well, it would be a tragic loss for Fitzroy early in the game. Well, once again, players slipping underneath the ball. That was Mark Thompson. He butters up, gets it quickly with the left-hander, Wanganeen. Wanganeen onto Kilpatrick. On to Hills now. Hills will be looking for Salmon. Bombs the ball to the top of the square. Underneath it is Salmon and Lynch. Buick couldn't take it, but Plain can. Onto the left foot, an exciting player. Kicked a poor one, however. Underneath it was Buick. That travelled at 10 yards, Ross.
Oh, just.
Boy, it looked about 5.
You fancy a rover taking a mark like that so close to goal.
Actually, he's very good overhead, Darren Buick. He's got all the skills. And he just assessed that situation very well. Gale too late on the scene.
Well, looking at replay, it probably did just cover the 10 metres, so good decision, umpire. Darren Buick lines up for his first goal of the afternoon. And Essendon's third. Good start.
Baldwin's kick up to centre half forward. Wanganeen there for the Bombers. His hand pass hit the back of a teammate who was facing away. Here's Kilpatrick. Kicked way off the side of the boot. Out towards centre wing. Blakey. Good hand pass to Cormac. Out of the mud. Inside the 50. Players going to ground. It's socket off the ground. And eventually finds the line. And that was a kick by Michael Werner back in defence. And we'll have a throw in. So certainly close enough to goal for Fitzroy to score. Stevens contesting. Mark Harvey for the Bombers. Good mark by Somerville. Beating Abbott to the ball. Somerville goes straight up the ground. No great distance with his kick. Plain, great gather.
Free kick taken high, Drew. A good decision by Dennis Rich.
Already Plain having an influence. The kick's wide, looking for Salmon, who's on the lead. Salmon with 3 to beat. Lynch handballs now to Guard, who's given good support. He's got nowhere to go and kicks it along the ground, which will put Hills in position. Hills once again tries to spin on the heavy ground. Wallace finds Anderson. Essendon looking good in the early passages of play. Greg Anderson, one of the players that played in the State of Origin game Tuesday night. It'll be interesting to see how they run this game out. Heavy conditions. Possibly they could tire. So from just on the 50-metre line, a long kick. It's going to drop short, however. Salmon in the front. Big punch from Lynch. Long roves the ball. Pushed out of it there by Gale. Gale grabbed there by Danaher. The ball still in play. It's going to be heavy, hard, slogging affair here at North Hobart.
Well, the other aspect about the state game is these players who live in Melbourne and played in Adelaide earlier in the week and now Hobart, apart from the playing, they've done a bit of travelling. Poked off the ground out of defence for Fitzroy. Wine goes off the ground. It bounced out and we'll have a throw-in. Or out on the full, was it? No, we'll have a boundary throw-in. In between wing and half-forward for the Bombers. Bombers lead 3-1 to 1 goal. Somerville, but Cormack for Fitzroy. Bit of danger here. O'Donnell gets it going the Bombers' way. Off the ground, Chris Danaher.
Oh, free kick.
In the back to play.
Gotta be a free kick to play in the back.
Nothing doing. Elliott gets away with it. The umpire will ball it up.
Bradley Plain already spattered in mud. Somerville doing well in these taps. Hits it to Jimmy Wynd, however. Wanganeen playing in front of Dundas. Takes an easy chest mark. Straight down the corridor. Fitzroy have two players, one in Abbott in front. Off the ground. And coming out now to Harvey. Should be a good battle, Harvey and Osborne. Caven needs support and finds it there with Jamie Elliott. Left foot kick is a poor one. Wanganeen drops back.
Well, Wanganeen could get 1 million possessions today, as Wallace did last week against St Kilda. It helps when you haven't got an opponent. Anderson, he's caught. Play on, says the umpire. Broderick. Dundas. Cormack's kick smothered. Broderick again gets the ball out to Caven. A high ball to the 50. Stevens underneath it. Excellent mark by Werner. Goes back to Harvey. Harvey straightens. Short of centre wing. Anderson. Good spoil by Guard. And a great pick-up by Jeremy Guard. Clever kick. Stevens. And that could be 50.
Yes.
And it'll put Brett Stevens right on the goal line.
It's the sort of thing that Michael Werner's inclined to do. It's just undisciplined, unnecessary stuff, trying to intimidate the opposition. But what in fact it does is just disadvantage his side totally. The mark was already there. He can't do anything about it. Okay, he got caught out of play. But what value is that?
Stevens has kicked Fitzroy's 2 goals.
Does well off the ground. It'll be an important kick off the ground this afternoon. Stevens back into a pack with courage. Over the top came Caven. He goes wide, but it should find the boundary line. Chris Danaher in pursuit, but is beaten by the line. I think when in doubt, the quick kick off the ground will be all important today. The side that can handle the wet, boggy conditions will come out on top. Harvey pushes Osborne out of play. Gets his kick around the corner. Not very effective, however. Osborne gets a quick kick to Wine. Wine puts Dundas in space. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't, as players have bailed over the boundary line. And a high five between the Doctor and Dundas. Or was that a low five, Ross?
I think a lowish one if it's Matty Dundas.
Chance for the Lions here. Ball flipped out. Kilpatrick. Dundas took it over the line. And we'll have another boundary throw in. Essendon 3-1. Fitzroy 2 goals. Midway through the first quarter. An important game for both teams. Loser might lose touch with the top 6. Blakey dives and marks. Now John Blakey. Cross breeze, a help to bring it into the goal square from there. Clears the pack. Wheel to number 12 first back there. but the ball out of play. You see how small this ground is. That kick was supposedly from outside the 50 line, which I think is really a forward
only.
Flood. Long kick in. Somerville up early. Ball off the hands, out of bounds. Over halfback. Peter Somerville, number 19, really does have a good leap. Gets up again. Wind under the pack. Buick takes it away from him. Wind regains it. Well played. Oh, clever mark. No, mark not paid to Caven. And the hand pass finished up going out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. One kick the difference. Essendon 3-1, Fitzroy 2-1.
Throw in. Half forward flank for Fitzroy. They trail by 6 points, and I suggest, Ross, that there could be a fair bit of play over on that side of the ground today.
Yes, as I mentioned, if there is any breeze, the flag's a bit limp at the moment, but it does favour that side.
Kickett has a chance at the ruck, but there's going to be a shepherding infringement paid here against Werner. So they've two-teamed that ruck play.
Yes, Stevens to get the free kick. He and Abbott changing at centre-half forward, which is a big ask of any player to have that dual role. See this again. Accused of shepherding.
Well, that to me happens almost every time there's a ruck throw in. Boundary lines, however, Brett Stevens going for his third goal. Heavy ball, as you can see, but he's got it close to the line. And good defence from Flood, sees the ball over the line for another behind. Fitzroy's second. They trail 2-2 to 3-1.
Well, Brett Stevens, 3 shots at goal already. He's kicked just 4 goals for the season prior to today. Kick in by Flood. Somerville front of the pack. Into Kickett. The kick by Derek Kickett up towards half forward. Playing at the back. Go in, son. We've got a spectator down below us with a very loud voice.
Yes, asking Jamie Elliott to have a go.
Worse than the screamer at Moorabbin.
Comes to Kickett. He barrels it long in the direction of Salmon. Oh, almost a mark. Play on, says the umpire. Paul Roos has been out of it so far. His first kick. Good gather by Wind. Back to Broderick. Awkward for Lyon. Taken out of it by Thompson. Hills to help his skipper. That's got to be a throw. Umpire comes to Kickett. Into O'Donnell. And his kick dropping short for Paul Roos to take the mark.
That's 50 metres.
Yeah, well called, Ross.
Paul Roos is playing centre-half back. Chris Danaher, as I mentioned earlier, tagging him, but Roos playing traditionally in that position with Stevens and Abbott, as I mentioned, interchanging centre-half forward, where Roos has had terrific success, and his second half of the state on Tuesday night was terrific.
Yes, truly is a champion player, Paul Roos. And good decision by Brett Allen, who's doing well. Inexperienced umpire. Broderick pumps them into the forward line, and a great mark taken by Caven.
It was a terrific mark.
It's been busy early, particularly the last 5 minutes.
He's put himself under pressure though, Jared, hasn't he? His left footy, I know he had a pretty close shot before, but it's not the best position for a left footer to kick from. Somerville featuring.
Let's see if he learns from his previous attempt. Almost the same position. 25 metres out. Once again. Doesn't pull it across far enough. And another behind to Caven. So Fitzroy trail by 4 points. And after an early flurry by Essendon, Fitzroy have dominated proceedings in the last 10 minutes. Once again, Flood. Fine kick from Flood. Almost to the centre of the ground. Ball now with Broderick. Left-hand handball, Jimmy Wind. He's looking to find his feet. Centres the ball looking for Osborne. Osborne doesn't elect to mark. He punches it on. Cormack off the ground. Punch from below the pack was from Flood, who did it well to Hills. Hills coming through now to Danaher. And the long driving kick from Danaher finds Werner, who takes an excellent chest mark.
It's a very good mark.
Oh, he's going for the hands pass while on the ground, and Seacamp blocks him up. Well, fancy spoiling a mark like that.
Well, even on a drier day, not that it's raining, but the ball heavy conditions, very, very heavy. Just the wrong option.
Made amends with the punch, but Fitzroy out of defence with Gale up towards the half forward. Front of the pack, Kickett. Harvey under pressure, almost was grabbed before the ball arrived to him. Anderson. Well played by Osborne to rob him of the ball. Wallace, last week's star. Kick by Wallace, a shocker. Good mark by Somerville.
Richard Osborne coming off, and coming on will be Dale Fleming.
Plain leads and takes the mark right in front on the 50. He doesn't go for the distance. Salmon taken away by Abbott. Support from Gale. Hills is there. Has it gone out? Not yet. Baldwin's hand pass. They might wish it had gone out yet. Buick goes off the ground. Broderick dodging and weaving up towards the centre of the ground. Somerville. 20-metre hand pass wide for Plain. But the best chance for that was somebody in the crowd, and we'll have a throw-in.
You can see why Osborne did come off. If Robert Shaw has a thought, the last attempt he made at the footy, he could have marked, I thought, and he elected to punch the ball away. And of course Fleming coming on, a good move there. He kicked 5 second-half goals last week. He knows where they are.
Thompson kicks the ball to centre half forward for Essendon. Long does battle with Gale. An interesting matchup here. Both very quick players. Long extremely elusive. But Gale's a real fighter. 35 metres out, directly in front of Essendon's goal. A late goal in the last few minutes of this quarter would be vital, and comes fortuitously there to Long, who from only 20 metres out should pop this one through for Essendon's 4th for the quarter.
As Werner comes off and Spawn to come on. Yes, and as you mentioned, Jared, very elusive player, Michael Long. Not a consistent player. Has had a few niggling injuries, we know, but I think there's a lot more to offer.
Well, this to extend the lead to 10 points. Goals in the last few minutes are vital. Onto the left foot. He's pushed it left. And an easy shot at goal, missed by Long. They could tell in the final analysis.
Yeah, he's just back from a hamstring injury. Reason why he's wearing those strides underneath to keep the legs warm.
Just under 3.5 minutes to go to quarter time. Wine takes the mark on Buick and kicks up towards centre wing. Guard charges at it and takes an excellent chest mark. Jeremy Guard up towards half forward. Wheeldon, he stayed down, hopes the ball stays in, but it doesn't. Wheeldon needing 1 goal to bring up 100 career goals. And the hit-outs, Somerville has been dominant. But not this time. Stevens gets it out for Fitzroy. It's taken away by O'Donnell. Good pass off the left. Spawn takes the mark. Salmon has front position. Tough for Lynch. Salmon the mark.
Now, that's the perfect thing for Paul Salmon to do. He's very difficult to beat in that situation. Whilst this goes back a few years, and the occasions I played on, when he's jumping there for the ball like that, marking with his arms outstretched here, so very difficult to get your fist on the ball with the ball so far away from you. And if he's confident, all he can really do is try and chop his arms if possible, or upset his run at the football.
Salmon going for a hat-trick of goals in the first quarter. Bombers lead by 5 points. From right in front, straight over the...
Did well out of the centre. And he found Darren Wheeldon on the burst, just outside the 50. A chip kick in. And once again, Caven, who loves that spot on the half-forward flank, should try leading up the middle of the ground to possibly open up the angle of the goals for himself, make it a bit easier.
Yes, well, Fleming did provide that lead early, Jared, but it was ignored by Wheeldon. He took the more difficult option.
Well, perhaps third time lucky for Peter Caven. Shoots a goal. Well, perhaps he'll have to wait for another chance.
Well, each kick's gone further to the left.
Perhaps he could have tried a banana, although the ball very heavy. Become more difficult as the ball gets heavier. Harvey brings Essendon back into attack. Well, that's too easy, Hills. Slipping away there, getting under the guard of the defence from Fitzroy. It's an exciting young talent, Hills. Saw him burst onto the scene last year. Terrific player, had a couple of good games in the finals. Somerville takes a mark, and he really is having a big influence on this game.
Short of half forward, and Blakey gets in between two Essendon players to take the mark. We're in the last 30 seconds of the first quarter. Kick by Blakey. Wheeldon taken out of it, and will take the free kick against Flood. He'll need to do it quickly. He won't know we're so close to quarter time. It needs a mark on the forward line and a kick for goal. Abbott, he's given him that chance. Abbott playing his 100th game. And it's taken a long time to reach that. He made his debut in 1984. Missed 2 years with a broken leg and played over 100 games in the reserves. He kicks for goal, and that's away to the left.
Werner and Grenvold on the bench for Essendon as we start the second quarter. That was a throw out there, it appeared, from Cormac. Pretty heavy going in the middle of the ground as players dive desperately on the ground. Hip and shoulder there from Somerville. A pack of players swarm. Getting himself off the ground is Jeremy Gard. Recruited from Claremont. He played in a premiership there last year. The Ruckman link arms. Baldwin with the left hand. The punch from Skipper Thompson. The left footer. Off the ground went Dundas. Ruse dives in there, but to no avail. Thompson once again. The left-hand scrubber handball. This game is going to be a slog. Good handball finds Hills. Hills drives the ball long, looking for Salmon. At the back of the pack is Long. Can he kick it off the ground? Gets the handball, this time to Salmon. Around the corner. Good defence finds Plain. Third time. It pulls it too far. And one behind. Good defence from Fitzroy.
Yes, there's a great smother there coming from Jamie Allett as Salmon went to kick. Some good hands through the middle of the field just setting that up.
Lynch, short pass into Elliott. Now they're working players out into open spaces. Baldwin, there weren't too many open spaces out of the middle last time. Kicked by Baldwin to half forward. Lyon flies high, can't mark. Wheeldon tries to go off the ground. Wanganeen for Essendon. Spawn taken out of it by Seacamp. And
Lyon and Wallace through. They're having a bit of a dip. They had a few words in the first quarter. They're not slowing down now.
So for the boundary throw-in. Throw a blanket over about 20 players here. Whistle's gone over the shoulder, and the free kick to Somerville, who is really causing a problem to Abbott.
This has dominated the aerial battles, particularly the centre bounces. Goes with a torpedo. Obviously the instruction, as we heard from Kevin Sheedy. Gale was pushed out, and he'll take the free kick. Left-hand handball now. Seacamp gives it back to Gale. Didn't see much point at that. However, Fitzroy come wide on the centre wing. At the back was Flood with the double-fisted crunch punch. Roderick came through. Handball from Gale finds Cormac. Cormac through the middle of the ground, goes long. It should be Wallace over the back. There's the punch. Caven comes through at ground level. He's got line and support, but whips it out to Baldwin. Good play. Poor kick, however. Dundas now back to Baldwin. Plenty of possessions here, and finally...
There for a change, but Gard was caught holding the ball, and the free kick goes Essendon's way to Wanganeen. 4-point game, the Bombers leading by 4 points. Kick by Wanganeen to half forward. Oh, top mark. Taken by Wine. Now Stevens is actually a loose man in defence for Fitzroy. He's drifted up the ground and he's kicked all the goals for the Lions. Amazing for a defender. Here's Dundas. Palms off an opponent. Centering kick. But Anderson's back there for the Bombers and takes the mark.
Well, he's a long kick, Anderson. One would expect he'd use that. Ignores the shorts and goes long. Abbott couldn't take it, but gets it to Dundas, who's been a little bit busier this quarter. Punch from behind was Danaher. He sees it to the safety of the boundary line. So Abbott now dropping back and kick behind the play, thereby leaving the ruck work to be Caven. Caven and Somerville. Caven does well. Anderson once again. Quick hands to Thompson. The left foot goes to the middle of the ground where the loose men are for Fitzroy, but Spawn comes out. He's dispossessed. Baldwin across to the flank. Broderick takes one high. He should take the free kick. Cormac's loose in the middle. It's a poor kick, however. Does find its mark. This time he goes long into the forward line, looking for Osborne. He was retarded there by Harvey. Could have been a free kick. Umpire's letting things go, however. Finally decides to effect the ball up.
Darren Buick slow to get up. Thrown in the air by the umpire. Shifting conditions here, very difficult. Kilpatrick out of defence. Spawn charges at it. Ball held into him by Broderick. Cormac trying to shuffle out a hand pass. And the umpire comes in and will throw it in the air again. Jamie Elliott's got a fan down here on the terraces.
That's good stuff.
Abbott wins this one. Real tug-of-war, which kick it beats Wine. Long takes the mark, over the top to Spawn. It sits up all right for him. Seacamp giving chase. Kick by Spawn, Plain. Inside the 50. Elliott with him. Elliott did well then. Back to Lynch. Round the outer boundary line. And a diving mark taken by O'Donnell. Gary O'Donnell too far out to score. Bombers lead by 4 points. 4-3 to 3 goals 5. Salmon. They double team him. Blakey at full stretch. Intercepted by Kickett. Nearly breaks the tackle. Broderick dragged down in a good tackle. Salmon out to Anderson. A snap. He's got...
Was bumped off it. Stevens is retarded. Through comes Spawn again. He has possession, but is pinned by Blakey.
That was great stuff on the forward line. Salmon not only applied the tackle, but gave the hand pass out to Anderson. So he's kicked 3 goals as well, so having a good day.
Cormac on the left foot. Hills goes to ground. Should try and keep his feet, but it works okay. Through comes Kilpatrick. Blakey. He's retarded by Anderson. Really didn't have a chance to get rid of it. Once again, a good decision by Dennis Rich.
Peter Cave has come down to centre half forward. Roos to full forward.
A non-event, the ruck. All players missing it. Through comes Bomber Thompson. Showing the way, the skipper. Buick went to ground. Plain. He's tackled by Elliott. Wallace knocks it out. Stevens. Wallace again. It's going to be hard, tough in the clinches. Dundas finally clears it with a driving torpedo punt. But going back with the flight of the ball, the mark of the day so far goes to Danaher.
I think he actually might have paid a free kick, but gee whiz, it was worth a mark. Over centre of the ground. Seacamp underneath it. Spawn. Caught by Blakey. Umpire said he had no chance of getting rid of it and will ball it up. In the background, Wallace trying to pick up Stevens. Wallace knows all about a loose man. He was hit last week and was best on ground against St Kilda. Here's Dundas going back with a hand pass. Oh, here's trouble. Buick, great hand pass to Long. Long 15 metres out. He waited too long and missed it. And a bit of a box on here.
And that's exactly why Michael Gale's picked a play on Long. He has great pace and just picked him up Long very quickly. Long, I must say, slowed down just a fraction too long. And very telling tackle there. And also Gale letting Long know that he thought he did a good job in picking him up.
Is that what he said?
But slightly different terminology.
Lynch to drive Fitzroy back into attack. Once again, uses the torpedo. Important to play in front. There'll be a lot of mongrel kicks here today. Elliott does that. He's retarded. Goes to Stevens, however, who's got support from Baldwin. Fitzroy looking quite good. Danaher once again did well. Wanganeen pushed in the back and took a knee to the nose. It was Osborne's. The youngster takes his kick. The back was Somerville. Baldwin in front. Does well picking it up out of the gutter. Abbott. Kick was in a poor one. Kilpatrick does well. Kick it. Abbott once again. Out to Cormac. Cormac left hand finds Seacamp. Seacamp onto Baldwin, who's picked up 3 possessions in less than 2 minutes. Over the back came Wilden, but the punch was good for Essendon. Thompson comes to wide. He's got Anderson on his wrong foot. He ducks back onto his favoured left and pushes them into attack.
High ball from Greg Anderson. Courage by Stevens. The crumbs come down to Wallace. He goes wide to Long, who missed the last goal. has a bit of a stumble this time. Into Plain. Plain 25 metres out, and he misses. So they blazed a couple of times in the last couple of minutes, Essendon.
And Drew, just a turnover there in the centre early on with Derek Kickett. Brian Wood, the Essendon runner's been out there to tell him just not to try and handball so hard. He's trying to be too direct and too sharp in these conditions. The ball missed its mark and finished up on the Fitzroy forward line.
Essendon have kicked 5 goals, 5, and Plain has kicked 3 of their 5 behinds. This ball hacked out of the air up short of centre wing. Great pick up by Dundas, but he tried to change direction in the shifting ground. Off the ground by Lyon. Lyon follows up, keeps going. The ooh, as Lyon went through and down went Wanganeen, and the free kick to Gavin Wanganeen.
He certainly earned his last 2 kicks, Wanganeen. Doesn't lack in the courage department. Somerville and Abbott, good battle. Dundas over to Blakey. Blakey long to centre forward. Oh, what a grab from the young Wanganeen. That was all just leap.
Can play, can't he?
Oh, didn't use anybody as a springboard. It was just a natural jump. And a good kick finds Wallace at centre half, who's playing at centre half forward for Essendon, right in the middle of the ground. Looking for Salmon. It's on top of him. Salmon could have possibly done better, but the ball comes to ground to Kickett, who just drifts.
Somerville goes off the ground. Baldwin's crunched into. The umpire comes in and will ball it up. Long's been dragged by Sheedy. Grenvold on the ground for the Bombers. David Grenvold, he won't stay too clean for too long. Hills approaches the 50. Here's Kickett. That was a throw. Fitzroy free kick. Jeremy Gard.
Former teammate of Kickett's at Claremont.
Kick by Gard. Wheeled and flew very high for that one. Front of the pack, Danaher. Dive by Baldwin, no mark. Seacamp, a good hand pass. Abbott to Gale. Good use of the ball by Fitzroy then. Essendon were going to get a free to Danaher. Advantage to Harvey. Great kick by Mark Harvey. Spots Spawn. And Spawn short of full forward. He just blazed with that one. And Elliott takes the mark over Plain.
He handballs to Lynch on the left foot, looking for Blakey. In front was wide, he couldn't take it. Anderson, left foot kick, only as far as Seacamp. They've got numbers out wide, Fitzroy. Gale goes around Somerville. He's kicked it to 2 Essendon players, however. Thompson couldn't take it. Roos dives on the ball. Could have been a free kick to Thompson. This one should be. Takes Hills in the back. Just a little bit careless there, Paul Roos.
Certainly, I think he's a bit frustrated too, Jared, having spent some time at full forward. Now Caven's back there and he's come back to centre half forward, but hasn't seen much of the footy.
Back into attack, Gale on the ground. Not enough pressure there from Essendon. Going at the ball. Kick it onto O'Donnell. O'Donnell gathers some pace and a fine kick to Buick. He was interfered with and will take the free kick. Decision against Wynd. I thought a little bit stiff. However, technically probably there.
Yes, didn't have much choice. One was caught a distance away from Buick. Made the effort to get there, but in running with his back to the footy, couldn't see it, so tried to block Buick's path and infringed in doing so.
Buick, he's kicked one early in the piece. Kicked 26 goals for the season, and from 30 metres out will be attempting Essendon's 7th. Important kick. He's pushed it to the right, however, another behind.
I think our Barracker talked him into that one.
He's going to be hoarse.
He's had some interesting comments.
To kick 5 last week against the Sydney Swans. Thump to Essendon's 6-6. Equal scoring shots, but the margin 15 points.
So Salmon might be brought up the ground, possibly go onto the ball, give Somerville a rest.
This is a better kick from Danaher. Straight down the middle, finds O'Donnell, who moves it on quickly to his skipper in Thompson. Playing in front is Spawn. A couple of yards on Stevens. His kick is a shocker, but once again, Essendon have got the boys playing in front. He's got 2 men spare, one Salmon. He puts it up in the air, but well played. Lynch gets the ball to ground where Fitzroy have the numbers. Baldwin onto Elliott. Elliott onto Wynd, and Wynd has Abbott dropping back, getting some touches now.
Wheeled him back on the ground, Caven off.
Through comes Baldwin, receives the handball and drives it long and quickly. Good battle there between Danaher and Roos. The players see the ball over the boundary line.
And that move has been made of Salmon onto the ball, Somerville to full forward.
Just over 6 minutes of play left. Fitzroy have kicked 1-6 this quarter. They need a goal on the board. Spawn coming down from half forward. A kick off the ground was in danger by Baldwin. Kieran Spawn will take the free kick.
In the direction of Kickett. Broderick punches but interfered. Derek Kickett will take the free kick. Plain and Salmon, two-pronged forward line. Oh, hooked back actually by Somerville. Eldwin not in possession, and it's an Essendon free kick right in front.
Kilpatrick, yes, Dundas interfered with him. Drews took him off the footy when he wasn't in control of it. See this here. There we go. He threw his foot at it, missed. Dundas just carried him on. And now Kilpatrick a shot at goal. Dennis Pagan, his former coach at North Melbourne Under-19s, of course, now with Essendon, would have had something to do with this player moving from that club to the Bombers.
Kicked by Kilpatrick. Here's away to the left. And we've seen them spray them in this quarter.
This Hill's coming off now, Drew and Long back on.
Essendon this quarter have kicked 2 goals 5. And 1 goal 4 for Fitzroy for the term. Up over centre wing, Roos. Kick it. Gee, man in front playing might have taken a free kick, got one round the neck. Roos taps the ball cleverly to Cormac. Cormac's pass is too wide and out of bounds on the full.
Under 5 minutes of play. Thompson has picked up plenty of kicks today. Good conditions for Thompson. Backing into the pack was Salmon, couldn't take it. Off the ground went Elliott. Kickett's in pursuit. He's first the ball. Excellent pickup from Kickett. Great skills. He's tackled there by Fleming. Anderson drives the ball forward. Spawn with quick hands to O'Donnell. He should go off the ground, but he picks it up well. Coming out was Lynch playing in front of Somerville. An inspiring defence from Lynch drives Fitzroy back into attack. But a poor kick goes only as far as Harvey. And Essendon now with a turnover.
16 points the difference, Bombers in front. Somerville can't take the mark. Elliott must be his father on the terraces, giving him plenty of encouragement. Grenvold, good hand pass to the 50. Wallace, centering kick, all Essendon here, and Kilpatrick has got a difficult shot. He won't make it from there in that mud. He goes wide. Good lead by Spawn. And this is the attacking side because the breeze is coming this way.
Yes, true. When the breeze has sparked up, that's exactly the direction it's going. And Spawn playing whilst as a centre-half forward. Stevens, his immediate opponent, was a good 10 metres in front of Stevens. Looks like Osborne's coming off again. Caven to come back on. Ring a rosy from Robert Shaw.
Kieran Spawn for goal. Gets away from him and hits the post.
It's interesting, Drew, just as he went to kick them, the breeze or the flag on the scoreboard, or top of the stand, I should say, that India was kicking to, just really sprung up.
His 40th game. Fitzroy back to within 11 points. Salmon wins in the middle, but it's taken by Seacamp. Fitzroy forward again. Flood, 28. Oh, he's got the ball underneath him, not doing much to get it out. The umpire agrees. You're holding it. Quickly taken by Fleming, the hand pass. The kick by Baldwin.
Free kick. Line no attempt on the ball. Drew just got the ride on Bomber Thompson. Thompson now with the free.
Under 2 minutes to go to half-time. 44 plays 33. Difficult conditions at North Hobart. The weather good, fine and sunny, but the ground very sticky mud. Well, luck's a fortune here. It comes to Gale. He goes bang, and what a great goal. Oh, it drops just a little bit short, and Anthony Danaher on the line takes the mark.
Yes, that was a good mark dropping back. Showed good intelligence as a backman. Brings it to the members' side. In front with Salmon. He's too tall. And the height of both Salmon and Somerville could be very important later on in the day when players haven't got the run in their legs. Players don't get any shorter as the game goes on, but players do get tired. Long kick to the wing. Over the back was Stevens. He's taken a fine mark. Been an excellent player for Fitzroy. 3 goals to Stevens and a poster. Kicks it to centre half forward looking for Roos, and he can't believe his misfortune. The free kick was paid to Chris Danaher, but eventually advantage is paid. And Harvey now drives them forward. At the back was Somerville. It goes through his legs. Lynch now looking for an option on the wing. He's got one in Gale, who kicked Fitzroy into attack just a second ago. Dundas does well. Oh, fine dive. Perhaps it hit the ground, but he covered it up well.
Paid the effort anyway.
Yes, the umpire smothered there with the back of Dundas. Oh, excellent play. Great skills from Kickett. Well, has a bounce in the middle. That's a little bit of lairising, but however he gets away with it, such is his ability. Somerville forward quickly, finds Werner. And a good build-up from Essendon. All it needs is Werner to convert.
That was the play of the day.
Yes, and there's no doubt that the kick from Werner was a very good one there. Just running through, a kick from Somerville, I should say, coming to Werner. It was very well done, and the siren has sounded.
So Michael Werner to stretch the Bombers' lead, which is 11 points after the siren. Robert Shaw getting out on the ground to address his players at half-time already, watching the opposition kicking for goal. Werner has missed it. Whew, some of these could be costly. So
Somerville once again with the easy tap. The mark will be taken there by Blakey. Blakey pulled down from behind by Danaher, but gets his kick away. Spawn behind. He's got Harvey in support. Harvey pursued by 2 players, and he's barreled, dropping the ball.
Yes, he didn't see Caven come off the boundary line there, Gerard, and turned, thinking he got away from Joe Cormack, who was the first Fitzroy player to front him. Turned quickly to avoid Cormack and ran straight into Caven, who's now got the footy.
He's on the right side of the goals this time, the left footer. Had 3 shots at goal in the first quarter and missed a lot. This one's a long kick in. Thompson at the front. At the back was Wanganeen. Round the corner to Hills. Good chest mark. Been reasonable today. Hills had a spell on the bench. That was a poor kick and over the line where Thompson didn't agree. Lyon dummies around Thompson. Goes onto the left foot. Not a great kick. At the back of the pack, however, was Caven. Off the ground goes Caven. Needed the leg break, got the off. In the back on Dundas. No free kick paid. And Kilpatrick is taken over the boundary line. The throw in deep in attack for Fitzroy.
Gee, the Lions have come out revved up. It's make or break. It's going to be mighty hard for the loser here to make the finals. Guard, kick smothered. Lyon there trying to keep the ball in, but Thompson takes it out on the full, and it's going to be a Mark Thompson free kick. In the direction of Somerville. Blakey punches from behind Anderson. Comes to Caven. Left foot snap. Won't clear the defence. Oh, Thompson bobbles an easy one. Well, that's an interesting one. Nearly could have been holding the ball right in the goal square, but it's gone through for a rush behind. And so now Fitzroy within 5 points.
Well, plenty of pressure there from the Fitzroy forwards. A vital element in today's football. When the forwards are laying tackles, you're usually winning the game. Fitzroy slightly behind at the moment, but they've come out breathing fire in this second half. Good kick from Danaher, finds O'Donnell. On to Harvey. He goes wide, looking for Kickett. Good punch away from Gale. Blakey off the ground. Ball just inside the line. Gale doesn't take it out. We saw that can be costly in the state game. Anderson tries to sweep it out. Bursts through. This time he gets his kick, but it's a scrubber. Kickett once again. On the bottom of the pack is Grenvold. The ball up will take place. It's been heavy conditions here. Conditions very difficult for the players.
Looks as if Gale's picking up Kickett too now with Long off the ground.
Knock on by Wallace. O'Donnell does well, but he's taken high by Wind, who has half of his number 8 obliterated by mud, making it difficult for commentators.
Yes, it does look like a 3, but it's not Marcus Seekamp. Punch comes to Broderick. He ducked into the tackle, holding the ball. Good tackle by Plain.
He's just that extra second too long. Tried to give himself more space. Nothing to kick to downfield. Got nabbed.
Roos works to the front and takes a clip round the ear from Salmon, which is not what Paul Salmon should be doing to his Victorian captain. Quiet day for Paul Roos. Just 3 possessions in the first half. This kick up towards the centre of the ground. Stevens with one hand, not enough. Taken by Kilpatrick. Dodges the tackle, but is caught by the second tackle. Scooped off the ground. The umpire's going to have to come in and ball it up. But Fitzroy tackling hard at the start of this second half. And they've narrowed a 12-point deficit to 5 points.
Yes, good tackle by Fleming.
Right in the middle of the ground, heavy bog. Wanganeen. Should have been a push in the back. And undisciplined play there by Baldwin. Gives away the free kick. Wanganeen moves it on. Plain across the front of the pack, a la Royce Hart. Takes a mark. Not sure if he'll be within kicking distance. He'll kick this from outside the 50.
Bradley Plain would be pleased with the comparison.
Sure, he'd be happy.
I wonder if he'll kick it left foot. He's kicking from one of the heavier parts of the ground there.
Well, there's nobody in the square at all for Essendon, and that's why Plain's holding the ball up. Salmon was on the lead. Now Salmon gets back, and he wobbles a mongrel torpedo into the forward line. Lynch takes an easy chest boundary line. It can be a dangerous move, the kicking it off the ground near the boundary line. A non-event once again, the throw in. The ruckman just brought it to the ground. Sometimes think the ruckmen get their money a little bit easily. However, we can develop that at a later point. Greenwald comes through with good play. Roos, 2 kicks now in this quarter. At the back, a good mark to Spawn. Spawn goes long. He'll be looking for Salmon at the back. Salmon with one hand, 2 hands. Play on, says the umpire. Good decision. Good left-hand handball to Wallace. Wallace has time to steady. Will it roll through? It doesn't. Untimely bounce for Wallace. Another point to Essendon.
He's a bit stiff there. He had all the time in the world to steady, and he did that. He did everything right, and the ball just not breaking correctly for him.
The Bombers' first score in this third quarter, and the scores are level, 6-10 apiece. Dundas, who's kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter to date. Wind up to centre wing. Spawn on Stevens. Stevens paddles forward. Kilpatrick is there and sees the ball out at centre wing. 17.25 minutes to go to 3-quarter time. Do or die for both of these teams. 8th and 9th on the ladder. Kick by Cormac through the pack. Wind to centre half forward. Hills gets back there. Goes to ground. Baldwin. Thompson for Essendon. Pushed over right in the middle of the back. He'll take the free.
It's been a fine player for Essendon today. Thompson, the skipper. Good left foot kick finds Somerville. He gets away from Abbott. Abbott's playing a kick behind the play now. So it means Wallace has to come up from centre half forward to create the option. He does that, brings the ball to ground. Was it off a leg? No, says the umpire. And a throw in, almost centre wing. Notice Fitzroy are attacking on the top side. It's a little bit drier. Perhaps a good tactic from Robert Shaw. Through comes Wine, but kicks it across the ground into the centre. Hills and Baldwin did battle. Good handball from Danaher finds Grenvold, who goes straight to goal. But once again, it's wide and another behind.
Yeah, some good hands in the pack there. Some pressure, as we mentioned. Touches are hard to come by, so you've got to use them as best you can.
Essendon lead by a point. But once again, Fitzroy get the ball away from a kick in so easily. Pushing the back and a free kick to Brett Stevens.
Displayed a top game, Stevens. Up towards half forward. Abbott, punched by Somerville, and the ball back out of play. But this is an attacking corner for Fitzroy. They trail by a point. Big Sunday of football on 7 Sport. Stevens doing well. Grenvold hauled off the ball. Stevens toes the ball through the pack. It goes to Harvey. One-on-one contest here. Hills over the top and wins it at ground level. Spawn looking for Hills, but Baldwin got in there. Hills again, number 33. And the umpire will ball it up. Gee, they're tough conditions. And if you've played a state game earlier in the week, those muscles would be screaming late in this game, wouldn't they?
Yes, they'd be looking for a bit of oxygen. Abbott, Somerville wins the tap. Knocked on by Buick. Off the ground goes O'Donnell. Kick it's out in front. Good play. Left-hand handball wide. Gives Buick some space, but he trips and goes to ground. Gale heads out towards the Seagulls. Long left-hand handball to Wine. Through comes Broderick. Broderick pushes it forward. Blakey now back to Baldwin. Baldwin wide. Caven in front. Just manages to get his handball in front of the tackle. Dundas under pressure. Well, they've had 7 possessions here and basically gone nowhere, but finally they get an opening. Dundas kicks it forward. Lyon comes crashing through, but cleans up his own player in Caven. Finally, we'll have a ball up the top side of the ground in Fitzroy's forward line.
He was looking for Mark Harvey there and missed him, and Harvey got up and just reminded him that he was a little bit astray there. So Cormac coming off the ground, and we'll have Armstrong to come on for his first run.
Oh, Stevens did well to get it out to Dundas. Chance here for Blakey. Oh, the kick didn't come in with the breeze he would have expected it to. And he misses to the right. So now scores level again for the second time this quarter, 6-11 apiece, with 13.5 minutes to go to three-quarter time. First score for John Blakey, behind. Anthony Danaher kicking in. Somerville at the back, good mark. And he's had a top game. And while Simon Madden, the veteran of the league, wallows in the seconds, Somerville helping to keep him out. Kick it, dashing away with this one, but it's a Fitzroy free kick to Seacamp.
Yes, Wallace is holding on to the arm of Seacamp as they jostle for that mark.
Well, Roos copped a bit of an elbow there from Buick, but he gets support in Gale. Roos and Buick going at it now behind play. Well, we know what that was about. Roos probably a little frustrated, but certainly incensed by the treatment from Buick. No love lost there. Umpire, good decision, just balls it up and lets the players get on with it. Gale round the corner, out in front with Stevens, who couldn't quite take it. Under these conditions, possibly it could have been paid.
Yes, look at it again here. This is to see Buick coming through from the right, just taking Roos on the cheek.
Anderson in the ruck. Does well, gets it to Buick. Scragged down there by Armstrong, who's fresh on the ground. Some fresh legs. Wanganeen, excellent to kick it. Kick it on the left hand. Finds O'Donnell. And the left foot kick goes over the top of players. And Plain just gets the ball and takes it over the boundary line. So the game really in the balance. 6-11 apiece. Both sides know that they don't win here today, the chance of a finals berth come September, particularly Essendon, is almost remote.
Abbott holds off his opponent with one hand and wins it with the other. Roos to Wind. A centering kick could be dangerous. Danaher to Anderson. Kicks well smothered by Armstrong, who's done a couple of good things since he's been there. Long blazes away, way out to the right. Salmon goes to ground. Plain with the ball at the toe. Elliott paddles. Abbott goes out wide. Broderick for Fitzroy. Taking a week to pick it up. Ball underneath him. Now grabbed by Baldwin. Armstrong. His hand pass to no one in particular. Wallace. Elliott grabs him. He's walked it over the boundary line. The umpire calls for the throw-in.
Yes, Stuart, just looking at the situation for Essendon ahead if they do lose. They've got games coming up. Footscray, Collingwood, Hawthorn. It's a pretty tough run.
Dundas has had a good quarter. Armstrong pushing his way through there. Similarly, I guess, for Fitzroy, Ross, although they have got that extra game up their sleeve already, having played their 2 byes, but they still need to win 4 or 5 games plus this one to make the finals. Lyon comes out on the burst and takes a good mark. He's lifted his work rate in this quarter.
Straight to Broderick. His kick well inside the 50. Dundas is there again, just gets boot to ball. But Grenvold to Thompson, and the Bombers have cleared out of defence. Wanganeen's been a lively player. He's kicked to half forward. Plain with a climb! What a mark by Bradley Plain. He went up once and was hoisted again.
Look at that, bit of a nudge on the shoulders to get himself up.
Nothing wrong with that, Ross.
Well, you wouldn't want to umpire that one out of the game. It was the mark of the day. Now, Buick, about 40 metres out from goal. He is on the attacking side, and a straight kick from Darren Buick will level the scores again. He's kicked 1 goal, 1 so far. His 12th disposal drifts across the face and through for a behind. And how many have we seen miss to that side?
Darren Buick, he's been busy, though probably not one of his greatest games for Essendon. Once again, Fitzroy get it away easily, using the short kick in, dragging the player, and then the long kick is the second option. This one, however, rolled over the boundary line. A throw in on Essendon's half-forward flank. Abbott and Somerville do battle. Abbott does it best. Danaher applies a tackle. And once again, Ruse just showing who's boss. Dean Wallace, he's no stranger to those circumstances. Osborne. Mark taken by Anderson. He uses his left foot to advantage and kicks it 40 metres looking for Salmon. Plain roves it well. He's got Danaher short. He gets it to him well. Danaher goes to ground. He's got so much time.
Somerville in the middle. Wanganeen might have interfered. Hills gets the hand pass through to Buick. Buick steers the pass for Plain or Salmon. Flipped out by Lynch. Plain with another chance. Hooks the ball back to Anderson. Anderson, centering kick for Danaher again. Lynch worked to the front. Ruse taken in the back. Free kick to Paul Ruse.
Jay Cormack back on the ground with Armstrong going off onto the bench.
So he wasn't given much of a run, Armstrong. Here's the kick by Ruse. Comes out very wide. Anderson takes the mark and goes on with the business. Around Blakey. His left footer is a goal. Don't know whether it was off Anderson or whether Chris Danaher might have got a bit of it.
I think he might have got it in the end there, Drew. As the ball sat up, he wanted to make sure it got across the line before it was touched by Fitzroy play. Just watch this again. It sits up within probably a couple of feet of the goal line. Danaher just gives it a bit of a poke to get it through.
Okay, we'll give it to CD.
Yeah, definitely an assist anyway to CD. Once again, Buick out of the middle, having his best quarter for the afternoon. A quick kick down to Salmon. He tries to flick it behind. Lynch does well. Looks for the boundary line. I'm sure he'll just let it trickle over with Danaher in pursuit.
Yes, and with this new footy being used with the previous one gone right over the fence, Essendon taking full advantage of it.
Amazing players can kick the ball over the fence. It's been getting very heavy. Ruse could have been a free kick to Danaher over the shoulder. Hill's trying to break tackles. He does that. Good tackle from Ruse. Could have been a free kick. I must admit, Ross, though, the umpiring from Brett Allen and Dennis Rich been excellent.
Yes.
Particularly when you consider a first game or a first year umpire, Brett Allen, a game with so much riding on it.
What's the system a bit, of course, is the game's been a little bit slower because of the conditions. Mind you, that also can make things more difficult at times because it gets very, very congested. But they've paid free kicks when they've been there.
Salmon punches towards goal. Wanganeen. And the ball's gone out of bounds. Under the scoreboard, in the forward pocket. Well, Fitzroy started the quarter 12 points down. They hit the front. And now Essendon lead by 7 points again. Wine, a little kick out of there. Baldwin, good pick-up. Might have been taken high. Ball's gone out of play. Just under 6 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Well, it's like a mid-season mini-final, this one. And they're playing as though the stakes are as high as they are. Gale. Good distance with that kick to centre wing. Stevens, a good mark. Brett Stevens has been something here today for Fitzroy. Walks around Spawn on the mark. To centre half forward, Lyon can't take the mark. Dundas again, unselfishly, goes backwards. Blakey takes a week to turn around like a container ship. Off the left boot. The kick is away to the left. And once again, a straight kick in it, 60 to 54.
It's a fair effort though by Blakey. Get himself through that heavy traffic and the heavy ground.
The last time these two sides met, Richard Osborne kicked 7 goals. He really has struggled for kicks today, and Fitzroy need a lift from him. Off hands now, Somerville and Stevens. Hills. It's a tight game. I think it's going to go down to the wire. Neither side giving any ground. Harvey coming into quite a bit of pressure and a bit of verbal abuse to Caven. Spawn couldn't take it. O'Donnell flips it forward, finds Hills. Essendon with the runners now. Buick over the top to Danaher. He's got Kilpatrick wide. Essendon still with numbers. Now they look for Salmon. Oh, good mark. Gale drops back. Read it best. Gets it quickly onto Ruse. Ruse, as they say.
What a shocking kick.
Yes, he didn't have much of an option, even though Stevens had run up the ground from almost centre half forward to try and give him something to kick to.
Spawn for the Bombers to centre half forward. Gale punches from behind, kick it. Grenvold dishes out a good hand pass to Anderson. Long in contest there with Seacamp. Seacamp did well. Whipped off the ground by Elliott. Up towards centre wing. Osborne hardly had a touch. And beaten again by Flood. Into Harvey. High ball, just a kick and hope. Somerville there. Front of the pack, Cormac. Oh, great little hand pass to Broderick. Now a chance for Fitzroy. A goal will level the scores. Guard goes long. Danaher couldn't take the mark. Lyon a chance still. He tries to go underground with the hand pass, but Anthony Danaher was there to rush it through from behind.
Peter Somerville, you should have a think about your attempted mark back in the centre of the ground. Dropping your head at the last minute causes the ball to spill. And the goal nearly results.
3.5 minutes of play remain this quarter. Is Somerville again, the person in question. Hills is bundled over the line by Wind, and he appears to have hurt himself. A pretty tight affair all day. Spawn has his share of the ruck. Hills has taken height. He gets the free kick away. O'Donnell, poor handball, goes to Baldwin. Baldwin round the corner. The fly was from Lyon, but Danaher breaks through. He's got Kilpatrick in support. This is a good build-up from Essendon. At the pack is Elliott, who flies. It's Seacamp at the front of the pack. Takes a dubious mark. Was it there?
I thought it was there.
Moves the ball on wide. Dundas, who's kicked 3 goals in this term, dragged to the ground after the play by Somerville, and the kick's been paid down the field.
Just unnecessary again. We saw an unnecessary free kick from Werner early in the game. In fact, that's not silly play there from O'Donnell, because it now gives Somerville time to get back into the square if he wants to get back there to assist.
Yes, well, Essendon have the player in the hole now. Cormac's got really no other option at the moment. Well, I was going to say to bomb it long. However, Wheeldon did well by coming forward and making an option. Didn't really gain them much, however, it broke up the play in the forward line. The punch from behind by Flood, away from Osborne, was good. I saw them lift here against the West Coast Eagles earlier in the season. They need a similar performance now. Well, this for a chance at the finals. Abbott and Somerville went at it. Comes out quickly to Grenvold. He moves the new ball on. Good punch from behind by Gale. Blakey, long back on the ground. Goes inboard to another left footer in Anderson, who goes through the pack. He's pushed by Abbott at the crucial moment, but the ball slews through players. Lynch meets the ball head on. Comes away from it. Gets scragged, but still breaks away. He's got nowhere to go. Finally, he kicks a low trajectory one to Blakey, and it ricochets over the boundary line.
Yes, a very intelligent kick that by Lynch. Kept it low, intentionally on the ground.
Kick it at the back of the pack. Weaves his magic. Gets the ball through Ruse's hands. Lynch once again to the safety of the boundary line. First goal could really break this game open, but I've got a feeling it could go down to the wire. Abbott could have taken that one out. He had nobody there in competition for it. Wanganeen's kick is smothered by Gale once again. Fitzroy with plenty of early work in their defence.
Somerville works the ball to the back. O'Donnell. Roos tries to go off the ground. He missed it, then gets legged. And the free kick will go to the Fitzroy and Victorian skipper. Not one of his greatest days. Leads Fitzroy in kicks and marks for the season, but not today. Harvey climbs but can't mark. Gathers the ball off the ground. Salmon. Long. Took Gale off the ball, but Gale good enough to go back and get it. Roos. Grabbed by Salmon in between dropping the ball and kicking it. And Salmon forces the ball up. No addition to the score yet in 2 minutes of play in this last quarter. Fitzroy by a point.
Somerville got it to Danaher. Once again, Gale in front. He's scragged. Oh, tough free kick there at a vital stage.
That's me. He's making the play and Wanganeen the tackler. Not much chance for Gale to get rid of the footy.
Well, it's important too where the free kicks are paid.
No question. I mean, he's even in the back there. I mean, why on earth that's a free kick against Gale? It's confused me.
Well, Wanganeen could put Essendon in front here with a goal. It's been tough kicking him from that position on the ground into a slight wind. Kick looks a little wide off the boot and through for a behind only. Scores a level here at North Hobart.
They go forward from the centre. Stevens gets it away from Anderson. Dundas, a lively player. He's buried when he didn't have it. Free kick to Dundas. Matthew Dundas from Assumption College drives it up towards full forward. Osborne, not this time. Another chance for the Lions. Pressure for Danaher. He goes backwards. Finds Kilpatrick. Across the back line to Hills. Now to Thompson. And the skipper's kick to the centre of the ground. Abbott is there. Can't take the mark. Broderick balks a hand pass one way. Then looks for Stevens. Roos. Tough to change direction in the mud. Blakey back to Roos. Under pressure. Caught by Danaher. But the ball held to him. Mount will throw it up.
Yeah, good decision. He had nowhere to go. The ball's pinned to him. He didn't try and avoid the tackle.
Notice Wanganeen stretching behind play there. Perhaps he's carrying a little muscle injury. Good play from Gale with the left-hand handball to Dundas again. Dundas really has worked hard. The fly at the back there was from Wallace. Grenvold is pressured. Takes the ball over the boundary line. Well, the pressure right on Essendon now. Deep in Fitzroy's forward pocket. They got a goal from this. Could be an important one though in the end result. Fitzroy now lead by 7 points.
Flood, who played on Lockett last week, kept him goalless, comes in short. Harvey. He's a man who went through the state game on Tuesday night. See how those state reps finish this game. A tough slog in the mud here at North Hobart. Long at ground level. Long again. Baldwin round the corner. Anderson dives. Is caught. Harvey's hand pass. Kilpatrick. Great kick by Kilpatrick. Planes about 20 metres in the clear. The gap closing. Gale missed him. Bradley played for goal. Werner it is, across the face of goal and out of bounds. From Michael Werner. He was in the attacking pocket, so he had a bit of a chance. No score.
Lynch's kick goes wide. There's only Hills there. Does the boundary line beat him? It does. And a good kick there from Lynch. He didn't have any options. Once again, another low trajectory kick looking for the line. Somerville and Abbott. Somerville gets his hand on it. Wills at the base. Round the corner. A left foot kick. Baldwin on the base of the ground there. Flicks the ball out. Roos off the ground. O'Donnell drops what he should have taken, however. Kick it. Ducks and weaves. Gets it onto his left foot. But Elliott comes out with a good chest mark playing in front of Werner. Comes across the ground, into the driest part of the ground. Anderson with the fist. Wine pulls O'Donnell to the ground. Cormack gets it for Dundas. He should move this quickly. He does it that in the square. It's Osborne taken off the pack there well by Thompson. And the players dive on it, trying to kill it. Particularly the Essendon players.
Good handle there from Joe Cormack to give Dundas a chance to run under that ball. Osborne jostling there, trying to take a mark.
Wheeldon does the fly, flips the ball out towards the boundary line. Dundas can bring this back. He slips, goes to ground. Conditions very, very heavy. And O'Donnell just sees it to the safety of the boundary line, with Essendon leading now by still 7 points.
Thank goodness it hasn't actually rained during the game. We've had a fine sunny day in Hobart. 7 points the margin, Fitzroy in front. 16.5 minutes remaining in this game. Coming into this game, Fitzroy a record of 8-6, Essendon a record of 8-7. Thrown up by umpire Ridge. Caven, as though he didn't even have eyes for the ball then. Wallace off the ground. Broderick, Dundas, Caven just outside 50. Centres. Osborne works to the front. Off hands Lyon.
Great stuff by Lyon.
Wallace came from nowhere to get a fingernail to that and hurt himself in the process.
Yes, a terrific effort there by Wallace. Saved a certain goal as Flood brings the ball back into play. Momentum swung Fitzroy's way. Essendon really do have to summon their energies. Wills picks it up, delivers it nicely to Spawn. He'll kick it long. Playing at the back, he's got the front position. Anderson tries to balance in the heavy ground. Gets it out to Danaher. Got away for 2 goals in that third quarter from Roos. Now he ducks back. Looks for a short pass. O'Donnell's out wide. Salmon gets the ball. He should have just tapped it out. Good pressure from Lynch and Cormack off the ground. Desperation stages now as Anderson just flicks it round the corner. Kick it. Draws the player. Does it well. Gets it to Spawn and he can go all the way. Oh, terrific effort by Roos to get a handle on that. Broderick copped one from his own player there in Stevens. Dundas takes one high, wins a free kick. Just under 15 minutes of play remain. As Dundas gets his... Oh, what a fine grab from Somerville. He moves it on quickly to Wallace.
Wallace found some spring in the step, out of the mud. Long kick, it bounces through for a goal. A 60-metre goal by Dean Wallace.
2 points and they get the ball out of the centre. Danaher once again, he's been on his hands and knees a lot. Gets the ball to Buick. Buick round the corner, but Elliott once again in front. And a fine mark. He really has got the better of Werner. Well, that was plain on that occasion. We saw it earlier against Werner. He's done well across halfback. Baldwin looking for Wheeldon. Wheeldon with the fly. Danaher did well to intercept that. And Anderson gets the ball with Blakey over the boundary line. Really starting to heat up here now at North Hobart. Not literally. O'Donnell takes it out of from the throw. Roos with a disciplined punch from behind. Kilpatrick to Cormack. Wine couldn't take the hot handball. Gets dropped from down behind play. Stevens with good hands. Handballs to the space. Harvey and Lyon straight at the ball. In came Wallace once again with the knee.
Well, how's that going the other way? That's better. The umpire, Allen, pointed the other way as if it was going against Lyon, but by gee, reward for effort there, just kept his eyes on the footy.
Yes, Lyon went hard for the ball. He kicks it in, but a terrific mark at the back by Flood.
Flood out to Kilpatrick. Fitzroy leading by 2 points. 13 minutes remaining in the game at North Hobart. Wheeldon takes the mark forward of the wing. Wine goes for the short pass to Dundas. And on 2 knees takes the mark. Will struggle from the distance, with the distance from this chopped up part of the ground. He goes short. Wheeldon, a double pass. He's not much closer to goal. And he hasn't been too confident kicking from about 50 today. He's looked to give the ball off. Lost 7 possessions and 1 goal. He kicked a freak goal here against the West Coast Eagles in round 7 at the other end of the ground. Leads coming from everywhere. Wielden looks as though he wants to go for the distance.
Took it away. Through comes Danaher doing well. Left-hand handball to Buick. He can run in. He won't be able to bounce it, however. Goes with a torpedo. A great spiral. Goal of the day. Darren Buick, a sensational goal. And Fitzroy took it away, but good play from Danaher resulted in a goal.
Yeah, just watching him getting quite correct there, Jerry. That was set up well, even though Wine got the ball forward. Just a little bit of a fortuitous bounce, but he saw the gap and went for it. Set it up for Buick, and what a great spiral in these conditions. It's from about 60 metres, and it carried through 3/4 post high.
Well, the last 3 goals in this match have been unbelievable, from 50 metres or more out. Wallace, Wielden, and that one by Buick. Fitzroy back into attack. Broderick a bit slow. Great pick up by Cormac. The hand pass up the ground. Stevens under pressure. Soccers the ball away. The Lions lead by 2 points again. Chris Danaher, but over the top with the height was Abbott to take the mark. He centres inside centre half forward. A punch by Wallace straight to Wine. Lyon! Play on, no mark. Thompson out of defence onto the chest of O'Donnell.
He's playing off, Werner on.
Buick once again giving Essendon the legs. Has it tapped, then kicks it long. Looking for Long. Over the back was Lynch. On the ground doing the Rovers work with Salmon. Oh, ducks through. Does it well. But a terrific smother there from Broderick. Players are desperate now. Hills comes charging through. Anderson. Long looping handball to Wanganeen. Wanganeen fumbled it when he should have gone with the football. Still has time to get it away. He's tackled by Gale. Elliott. And Dundas in there. Danaher doing the work at the base of the pack. Time for a ball up, I think.
Oh.
Well, they made them do the heavy work.
Yes, and applause coming from the crowd too. What a fine couple of minutes of footy that was. Pressure.
Well, that's what it's all about in these heavy conditions. Buick. Long, can he weave some magic here? Over the head, what a classic! It doesn't go through, however. It looked good from here. Wine. Harvey, what a fly.
Have they lifted in this last quarter? And really, they've got no right to be jumping and running and kicking 60-metre goals as they have been. Harvey, kick to the front of the square. Abbott at the back of Salmon. Caven in front. Harvey spoils, but Dundas grabs it. Cormac, short pass to centre wing, Wielden. Good hands out in front of his face. 75-73, Fitzroy leading. 9.5 minutes left in the game. Osborne! Top mark.
And again, it was a good running of Dundas that helped set that up.
Now, I would absolutely say that Osborne's too far out to score if I hadn't seen the last 3 goals of the game.
Great mark. Inside
the centre square. It bounces through guard and goes out of bounds in the forward pocket. 9 minutes remaining. 10-15 Fitzroy, 10-13 Essendon.
There's Fleming warming up. Looks as if it might be guard to come off.
Throw in deep in attack for Fitzroy. Caven. Ball just trickles through for behind. I think it came off the boot of Thompson. Well, we couldn't have wished for a tighter finish. Under these conditions, it was always on. The players have responded. Buick. And Dundas taking the mark. Both have been the sparks for their respective sides in this last quarter. Buick looking for Somerville and finds him. It's the second top mark he's taken this quarter. Quickly moves it on. Danaher doing well. A mobile player. Seems to be the favoured option for coaches on roos these days. O'Donnell's got plenty of space. He can run. He can flip it over the top. Well judged. Gale dropped back. Terrific play, Gale. Left his man covered for his side and flipped the ball to the safety of the boundary line.
And looking for a free kick from Salmon too as the interchange was made. Guard is off the ground for Fleming.
Salmon takes it out of the ruck. Kick goes nowhere. Another boundary line throw in. Essendon's forward line. Over the back came Somerville. That was a set play. Kick it, tackled by Wine, but luckily finds O'Donnell. Just slipped away from Cormac. That is the luck of football.
Yes, and the ability of Kick just to get the ball to boot very quickly, not trying to do anything too fancy. O'Donnell's great running there, kick it on his wrong foot, the right.
Have to feel sorry for Cormac, who took the front position. It really was only fortuitous kick from Kickett. Gary O'Donnell there's had plenty of the football this afternoon, but this may well be the most important kick he gets. To put Essendon in front from 15 metres out, tight angle. He's pushed it left.
Yes, it's very easy to criticise players sometimes from that position there, but obviously ground heavy underfoot, but with a quality player like that, you would have expected a better result.
Lynch to Gale. At number 2-1, but Michael Gale took the mark. Under 7 minutes left, and Fitzroy leading by 2 points. The kick by Gale, high to centre wing. Stevens tries to work to the front. Spawn can't mark. Umpire's going to throw it in the air. Umpire Rich and Allen have really let it go. The later the game's gone, they've put the whistles away. It's been great stuff. Stevens. Anderson first back there. Looks for Anthony Danaher. He thumps it away. Kilpatrick back to Danaher. Something here for the Bombers. Danaher goes for another long bomb. Salmon and long there. Elliott for Fitzroy. Great hand pass to Gale, who gave him a good run. Chased by Wallace. Gale had to get rid of the kick and gained 60 metres. Oh, it's tapped in here by Fleming. He's caught from behind. Umpire said the ball held to him. Good tackle by Werner. And it'll be thrown up out there. See, it's one of the firmest parts of the ground. But still the umpire will throw it up. Under 6 minutes left. Fleming off the ground. Lyon keeps the ball in. Baldwin. Cormac takes the mark. Well, how ironic. It was Cormac's man at the other end. O'Donnell couldn't kick the goal. Now Cormac has a chance for Fitzroy, and you'd think that a goal and an 8-point lead might be pretty hard to pull back with 5 minutes left.
Yes, and a bit of an assist there too from Richard Osborne to keep Flood out of the way, who may have got there. And Cormac's stats there of 22 touches. It's been very workmanlike.
Right in front. The man on the mark is only about 20 metres from goal. This should be a goal. Oh, it might be away to the right. And he's missed as well. So the Bombers still in with a chance.
And it looks as if he might come off the ground too. His guard's on the boundary, ready to come back on again.
Well, we've seen some tight finishes in this round of football. This is no exception. Looking for the big fellow in Somerville again. And he takes a free kick for over the shoulder.
Yes, Cormac is the player coming off for guard.
Somerville finds Werner. Werner's taken it off. That's play on. Gale in pursuit, but allows Werner to get around. Danaher takes a fine grab. He's been good for Essendon today. His mobility on this ground has been excellent. Looking for Salmon. Salmon couldn't control it, but Wallace can on the ground. Centres the ball for O'Donnell. O'Donnell sits. Possibly he can make amends now for his errant kick of only 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, some full compliments there to Chris Danaher. Last couple of marks he has taken, he's been at full pelt. He's created an option, someone to kick to. Werner's left footer found him on that occasion. Straight to take the mark. And now O'Donnell with the shot at goal.
Good percentage play there by Wallace. O'Donnell from 30 metres straight in front. He doesn't miss.
3 minutes 33 left on the clock. Can Fitzroy get back? New footy's come on. Somerville wins it. Chris Danaher in hard. The umpire will throw it up again. Well, Danaher's contribution. He's played a top game on Paul Roos.
Who's just been moved to the forward line too, Drew, to get either spark for Fitzroy or to get Danaher away from that area.
Well, it's exactly what happened in the game against Collingwood, and he kicked the winning goal in the last minute. He might be forced to do it again. They trail by 3 points, the Lions. and just 3 minutes remaining in the game. Hills. Kilpatrick is met solidly by Dundas. Baldwin off the ground. Guard gets it going forward. Kilpatrick again. Pulled off his kick. Caven picks up. Slides the ball to Baldwin. He goes back. Good hand pass. Stevens took it from Fleming. Roos on the forward line. No mark. Thompson going backwards. Lost it. Wheeled in the hand pass out. Anthony Danaher knocked over by Roos. The ball out of play. Fitzroy in attack. A throw in the forward pocket.
Yes, Bomber Thompson getting himself in a bit of trouble there going back into the play.
Good move from Shaw, putting Roos forward. We saw him kick the winning goal against Collingwood right on the death knock. Perhaps he can produce another similar feat. Fitzroy with a player down. It looks like Jimmy Wine grabbing his left knee. He's up and hobbling. I guess that's something. Wheelden over the back. Can't affect the tap. O'Donnell gets it quickly onto Hills. Hills along the boundary line. It's looking for Salmon, but a poor kick. Particularly under that pressure with less than 2 minutes to play. Could be costly. Abbott slides in for the mark. Goes to ground. Stevens, long sweeping handball. Under pressure, goes nowhere. Dundas does well to steal that one. Kicks Fitzroy forward. If they can maintain possession now, they should be home. Lyon. Wheeldon comes through. The ball will surely go over the boundary line. Good play there by Wheeldon. 1 minute 20 seconds of play remain. Essendon must mount something from this throw-in. Somerville wins the tap. Buick off the ground. They gain valuable yards. Does it go out of bounds? It doesn't. Spawn makes sure it does. The time clock ticks away. Knock from Gale was a good one. Players dive on it. I guess that's all that Fitzroy have to do now. Just hold the ball up.
Well, Essendon have to do. Essendon have the lead. Fitzroy need the ball and need to be going goalwards. 40 seconds remaining. Abbott wins the tap. Wanganeen. Salmon beaten to it. Broderick. But Fitzroy need the ball in play. Under 30 seconds remaining. And the Bombers lead by 3 points. Well, what a game. The scores have been level so often. The leads change so often. Will we get another change yet? The kick is smothered. It comes Essendon's way. That might be the ball game. Spawn to Wanganeen. Inside 50. Wanganeen's kick to full forward. Chance for Wallace. 6 seconds left. Anderson. Snaps for goal. Greg Anderson. Long. Long buried. It's going to be a ball up. And that's it. It's all over. The Bombers have won it. Well, I missed the siren. I'm sure the umpire did as well. Essendon have hung on and won by 3 points to keep their finals chances alive. What a finish, Ross.
Yes, it's a marvellous game, really, and credit to both sides. They fought it out to the end, but there's some very tired players out there. Fitzroy can consider themselves a bit unlucky. Again, a few shots at goal that were missed, but Essendon coming back when Fitzroy really had the momentum is a credit to them, and they are obviously very pleased. They have got a tough run ahead of them, but they've given themselves a big chance.
Fitzroy certainly not out of finals calculations.
No, they've got quite a reasonable run home, Jared, in terms of if you compare that to Essendon. If you look, Fitzroy, they play Brisbane, Adelaide, St Kilda in the next 3. All games they're possible chances to win. They'll need to do that.
Well, a heartbreak for the Lions, who got back into it after trailing at half-time, and for a while looked as though they had it won. Darren Buick punches the air and finds some spring in his legs to run off. Those Bombers certainly look like winners, and they've won it. 11-14-80 defeat.